John Woodson in the spotlight this week, the best in the biz. We're going to focus on safeties on this Thursday. And before we get into your top 5 safeties, Rod, we have to bring up at the NFL Rookie Symposium, Willie Brown, a Hall of Famer,
yes.
Obviously a great cornerback in National Football League history. He had a little fun at your expense.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. That's all right.
There's a Boilermaker going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year, by the name of Woodson. He wasn't too shabby either.
Safety, though. Safety.
He played both ways. He played corner,
safety, though. He had his career as safety.
Well, yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. You play long enough that if you stayed around long enough, you'd have been back there at safety, too.
No, hell no.
No.
Now, why is that such a bad word?
Because they believe that it's an easy transition from going to corner to safety. As you get older, you get slower, so they said, I'll just move them back to safety. But it's really hard to do, honestly. If you think about the history of the cornerbacks who played in this league, the elite corners. Ronnie Lott did it, but it was after his 3rd year. Roll has done it right now with the Arizona Cardinals, but he's only been in the league a couple of years. So it's a tough transition. And I'm going to show you just by the camera angles of what I'm talking about.
Keenan, come on in here.
I need a prop. I need a prop.
You gonna beat him down again?
Again. Watch out. Jump rope.
You got the camera backwards. Turn the camera around. Turn the camera
there
around.
it is. But the biggest thing is angles. As a corner, I'm right up on the receiver. As the corner, you see everything with an angle, at the view of the angle. And at safety, the hardest thing is everything you do from a corner is angle tackling. You're covering this guy one-on-one. The closest guy to you is about 15 yards away. And as a safety, you're more top-down. You're more streamlined. And, if you're rock and rolling your safeties, that means having safeties come down in the box. I see everything clearer here. I can see the backfield set where I can't see that at the cornerback position, but I can see it up here. It's a hard transition. And for me, it took me about 6 weeks into the season to understand what it was going to ask of me to be a safety in the National Football League. Because I played it my whole life, but once you play corner, you kind of get your mindset set for that, and then when you move to safety, you got to have another mindset. You got to have a tougher mindset, honestly, because you got to come down those box, and you're hitting people like a Jamie Dukes, those guys coming out pulling around at you, trying to hurt you.
And that doesn't include the time you had to work on it in training camp and also in preseason.
Mini camps, training camp, OTAs, which I don't like.
Isn't that funny? Took him 6 weeks to be an all-pro safety.
Played 12 years at cornerback, finished your career 5 years at safety. Now you're going to tell us who the top 5 safeties are on the game today, sir. Best in the biz.
The best in
you
the biz.
You better bring it to you. Yesterday's list was suspect.
This list is nice right here. Okay. I'm going to start out with an old school Brian Dawkins. He's not an Eagle anymore. He's a Bronco, but he was the heart and soul of the Eagles defense. On the sideline, on the field, he was calling all the defenses, making the checks. The Denver Broncos, they're getting a guy who's going to be a leadership in the locker room, on the field. It is outstanding playmaker.
Can he throw the
number
football?
4. He can't throw the football. But number 4, Michael Griffin.
Okay.
Everybody talks about hope, and everybody talks about Courtney Finnegan, the corner. But this guy led their team with 7 interceptions. He should have went to the Pro Bowl last year. This guy was a playmaker of the defense. He has much range back there. He is going to be a Pro Bowl for years to come. Number 3. Adrian Wilson. The name itself is great.
He's a linebacker. He's not.
But one thing I really like about his game, it's evolved. He's a better playmaker in the secondary. He's better at covering people out of the backfield, the tight ends going down the field. One thing he's worked on over the years, we knew he was a box guy, but now he's in the secondary making big plays. And we know about Troy Polamalu. The long hair. And the one thing I love about him also is Troy was kind of a havoc, feast or famine, Tasmanian devil type of player. This year, he became a playmaker, making big plays, interceptions, taking them back to the house.
But the hair.
Because the hair is great, though. I mean, he should do a commercial with that, But the number 1 guy, Ed Reed, the most dangerous defensive player in the National Football League because he gets his hands on the football, and once he does that, he takes it to the house. The most dangerous defender is the defender with the ball. I mean, to me, we always talk about shutdown corners. You can't find safeties like this that have the instinct to find the football, but once you get it, he's outrunning everybody to the end zone. I mean, he's an outstanding playmaker.
Brilliant list.
You approve of this list?
Applauded.
Oh, you're not going to
wholeheartedly.
argue.
You had some
Nothing to
issues.
say.
You had some issues with the top 5 middle.
He
linebackers.
has issues with everything.
No, I
You
do.
know,
I
you
just
say
gave
apples,
I
he's
just-
going to say oranges.
I just gave you credit for a great list, but no,
Thank you.
you had to blow it.
Well, Bart Scott was on your list for best middle
gosh.
linebackers, which you had a bit of a problem with.
I did.
Well, apparently Bart watches. He's a fan of
is
the
that right?
NFL Network. And in our
Good.
tweet of the day, this is Bart's response. We believe it is the real Bart Scott, who said he created a Twitter account just for this comment. Thanks, Rod. Went to Pro Bowl at middle linebacker and
Pro
lined
Bowls.
up over the guard 80%. Ray, and I switched often. JD, meaning Jamie Dukes, you are never too old to learn.
Well,
LOL.
Yeah.
Well, all I'll say
What you
is
got
I
to
thought
say?
the list was best
What you got to
middle
say?
linebackers. That's what the way it was. If you go back to the show, it said middle linebackers. Middle linebackers that I know, in most cases, line up over the center, okay, and some over the guard. So I was misinformed. I didn't know it was inside backers. I understood it as middle linebackers. So, however you want to look at it. But last I checked, middle linebacker means you're over in the middle where the center is.